Hello everyone, Constitutionalist Libertarian here. And today we're going to be taking a look at an article from the Huffington Post that was published on the 29th. It's written by Sam Levine. And just with the subtitle alone, you can tell how desperate the left is, because they really don't want this to happen. And I'll get into why. State refuses to cooperate with Trump voter fraud probe. The only irregularity in the 2016 presidential election centered around Russian tampering. Okay, well, the Russian hacking narrative completely busted. You only have this tampering thing left, this influencing thing left. And you're holding on to it for dear life. The deep state is holding on to it for dear life. You controlled media, all of you, you're all holding on to this, praying that you can get any little bit of traction. It's tug of war, and there's a festering cesspool that you're about to be pulled into, of your own making, and you don't want to deal with that. It's your own damn fault. If you hadn't have pushed this bullshit narrative crap and lied and proved yourself fake news, you wouldn't be in this predicament. 5 states are refusing to comply with a request from President Donald Trump's Voter Fraud Commission to provide personal information about registered voters, saying it is a waste of money that aims to justify voter suppression. Huh. Hide a truth within a lie, we'll say. I mean, that's not exactly right. Of course it's going to cause voter suppression. The votes of the illegals and people fucking using dead people and shit like that. That's what you're afraid of. That's the voter suppression you're afraid of. That's the voter suppression they're afraid of. Okay? Now, 4 of the 5 states I can understand. Okay? California, damn Skippy, I can understand California. I mean, people witnessed illegals voting. There was eyewitnesses of this. You know, Virginia, it's close to D.C., you know, the District of Columbia goes into Virginia. I can understand that. It's going to be corrupt as fuck having D.C. right there. Kentucky, that's the one I don't understand. I mean, being Rand Paul state, I would think it would be a state that would be for this just to prove a point. Saying, well, okay, yeah, there was none, but there might be something to hide. I would love to see Massachusetts, New Hampshire do this, because, go through this, because the person who runs the elections in the state of New Hampshire, that handles, the ballots and everything else, has a history, which you can go out here on Google and find, of improperly dealing with ballots. He allowed for the CEO of Diebold at the time that this was going on to physically go and change out memory cards during the middle of elections. He's a convicted felon. He's not supposed to have any involvement around him. Yeah, this guy is real shady. So I would love to see if there's any of this shady shit in New Hampshire. New York, I completely understand them trying to fight this, considering that there is actual proof, as in video, of the Democrats busing people around to vote. I mean, you really don't want that coming out. Massachusetts, I completely understand. Like California, an illegal haven. It was actually the first. It had the first sanctuary city, which was Lawrence, Massachusetts. It's basically was the first sanctuary state to an extent, even though it wasn't officially yeah, we're gonna, protect you illegals. They were doing it for years. There were literally billboards in different countries, like, say, Dominican Republic, and then countries in Central and South America, where, and this is back when I was a kid, and I'm in my early 40s now, where you would have them say, come to Lawrence, Massachusetts and get, like, free shit, like welfare and housing and education, and so people came. I mean, this was well known around here in New England. So I can understand Massachusetts when it has a long history of doing stuff like that. I can understand it putting up a stink. You know, I mean, it just makes sense. So we have these 5 states here, and they said they wouldn't cooperate with the request from Trump's commission, which on Wednesday asked all states to provide personal information about registered voters. Yeah, like their address. This is stuff that is in the voter registration stuff. Files, we'll say. I can't think of the right term. But it's in the files. This is the stuff that the DNC and RNC have access to and use to target people for campaigning. So it's kind of like, well, who the fuck are you to say, no, you can't have access to it, when you allow the political parties to have access to it? That's kind of condescending. That's kind of like, well, fuck you, we don't see you as the authority, and you should seriously get a fucking clue because Trump is president. Deal with it. In addition, North Carolina said it would only provide information contained in publicly available records. Okay, well, that should be enough. I don't understand why they can't do that. Trump has claimed without evidence. No, there's been evidence. As I said, New York, that millions voted illegally in last year's presidential election. Okay, well, yeah. You had illegals voting in California that witnessed. I believe there was even video of it. You definitely had New York with the people being bussed. There was Hispanics with that. That could possibly be. But there's proof of. I love how you're nitpicking here, because there's been proof. A lot of proof of voter fraud and even election fraud. And you're trying to use this to try to say there's nothing going on here. One fucking tweet. Which you won't even say what it was. It was a fucking tweet. I mean, before we move on here, I mean, for example, because you're trying to say that there was absolutely nothing going on here, and you're trying to make this about illegals, okay? But I remember that they barely got into the recount, the Stein recount of Detroit, and they already had more votes than they had registered voters, and it was like, oh, we got to stop the count, because they didn't want people to know how bad the ballots had been overstuffed. I think that's proof right there. You can go and friggin' look it up. It's documented. The same with the busing thing. I personally witnessed fraud. 4 kids that were tops 16 with fake IDs. And I live in an area, well, at least where my voting station is, that's very left-leaning, okay? The whole condo apartment, it's, yeah. So you have a saturation of the Hitlery people. Doing same-day registration, these 4 16-year-olds, top 16, they got IDs that if they went to go buy a pack of cigarettes, the convenience store clerk would have looked at it, laughed, and said, this is mine now, and then called the cops. It's so bad that they were literally copying all of their personal information off of their licenses. Now, I can understand your license number. Okay. I mean, I personally know mine, but I can understand it. But when you have to copy your name and address, yeah, you're a fucking voter. You're a fake voter. And the thing is they quote unquote passed the sniff test, which was little old ladies checking IDs. I wonder if that was intentional. And they fraudulently voted where I live in New England. So, I mean, and yeah, this is just my word, and it's just, I don't care if people believe me, but I know what I saw. And I know what transpired with the recount with Detroit. And I know with the other recounts, Trump picked up a bunch of votes. So that it's clear there was vote suppression with the other recounts as well. So the election was rigged. You can't say otherwise when they're going, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, well, here's this vote that just conveniently showed up for Trump. California Secretary of State Alex Padilla, Democrat, said the Voter Fraud Commission's request is a waste of taxpayer money that aims to ratify a false claim that millions voted illegally. Huh. I love how this is worded. Actually, the thing is, yeah, it's a waste of taxpayer money, and I love that ain't no. It wouldn't ratify a false claim. It would either prove or disprove it. So what are you afraid of? That it will prove it? Because to me, if the left is making all these claims, no illegals voted, that's complete bullshit. They couldn't vote. Oh no, not one of them did. Oh no, there wasn't millions of illegals voting across the country, which I'm pretty sure there was. I wouldn't doubt it. When you have two candidates that aren't that popular, but, you know, I mean, I supported Trump. I actually liked Trump. I was a Rand Paul person. Even though I knew Trump was going to win from the beginning, I figured I would support my guy. I would back my guy until he dropped out. And then I put my support behind Trump, but I knew he was going to win. But in general, because especially the way Huffington Post and other leftist media and that slanted Trump, and even Fox and other right-wing outlets, because of this, he was seen as unpopular. You know, well, oh, he's a reality TV star. Well, he's also a successful businessman. And you have the criminal Hillary. That drives votes down. So it wouldn't be too hard for them in an unpopular election to throw in some votes and no one notice. Really wouldn't. And you can tell that our author here is trying to throw that last part in about ratifying false claims. No, it would either prove or disprove. I would think you would want them to disprove the claim. I mean, you're making a claim that it's not true without any evidence. This is your chance to have evidence and go, look, bitch, shut the fuck up. I would think where you guys hate Trump, Sam, you'd be begging for them to fucking check. So you could go, shut the fuck up, bitch. But you're not. You're going, oh, no, nothing to see here. Virginia Gov. Terry McAuliffe called the probe politically motivated and silly. Well, of course he did. This is the same stupid fuck who said millions die in the U.S. or something. Yeah, it was millions. Die in the U.S. every day after trying to cash in on the congressional shooting. He's afraid because he was a Hillary little shill. You know he had involvement in election rigging if there was any. If there was any tampering or illegal voting. You know he had a hand in it just by how he's a definite fucking DNC fucking globalist little fucktard. But I love okay, so they're all Democrats, and they're going, oh yeah, woohoo, look at these. It's all Democrats shitting themselves. Because look at Kentucky. Okay, now I can understand why Kentucky went and said no. Kentucky Secretary of State, Allison Lundergan Grimes. Oh God. When a woman has two last names, you can almost guarantee they're a fucking leftist, regressive, feminazi, probably, almost definitely intersectional, fucking sycophant, like, psycho. So, this two last name here said it was based on Trump's lie that millions voted illegally. No! It's based on other things too, you stupid bitch, but you don't want to bring those up. Oh, like Detroit, when Stein, who was there to try to fucking pull shit from, Trump and shit like that. She was just there, like, as Hillary's puppet bitch. She started the recount to try to fucking screw Trump, and she proved Detroit had way more votes cast than registered voters, along with other irregularities. This is on more than just the fucking illegals voting. And there were illegals that voted. To say that there was absolutely no illegals voting is a fucking lie, because you don't know. To definitively say something you have absolutely no proof of because no one's looked into it, which is what this is trying to do, okay, makes you a liar, because you can't base that on any fact. Sam, you're a shitbag. You're a lying little shitbag, dude. And all of these fucking Democrats are shitbags. California, which had more than 19.4 million registered voters as of February, was the first state to announce it will not comply with the commission's request. Virginia and Kentucky soon followed. New York and Massachusetts joined them on Friday, and North Carolina announced its partial refusal to cooperate. Well, California, boom. Yeah, they're refusing to cooperate because they did have a lot of illegals vote. That's like fucking illegal fucking Central. You got all these illegals collecting free shit, and Hillary's promising them free shit. Who the fuck are they going to go and fucking vote illegally for? Hillary. Also, if you get caught voting illegally and you're a fucking illegal alien, nothing happens to you. They fucking arrest you, process you, and kick you out the fucking door. And you just take off, and they never fucking know what happened to you anyways, and they don't care. So what disincentive was there for illegals not to vote in California? There was nothing but incentive. And I would love to, if they pulled out the fucking voter rolls, they know their shit stinks. This is why they said no. New York and Massachusetts, I can completely fucking understand, because they're afraid all of the irregularities are going to come out. And I would love to see that happen. I would love to see, because living in the part of New England that I do, I see all the corrupt fucking shit going on in Massachusetts, stuff that doesn't make national news. And I go, fuck me sideways. How the hell is this stuff not getting known by people? It's because the leftist media, the MSM and Huffington Post and others are keeping it fucking quiet. So, I mean, of course, when they have all that type of shit going on, yeah, they're going to probably have fucked up voter shit going on too. I will not provide sensitive voter information to a commission that has already inaccurately passed judgment that millions of Californians voted illegally, Padilla said in a statement. No! They did not fucking pass judgment. They're trying to find out if there was any voting irregularities. You're trying to fucking misrepresent this All of you. Sam, you writing the article. All the fucks that you interviewed. You're all trying, or you're quoting, you're all trying to fucking paint this in a postmodern fashion. And everything's looking all fucked up. That's what postmodern is. Everything looks fucked up because your brain looks at it and goes, this shit makes absolutely no sense, because it makes no sense. But yet you try to push and go, oh yeah, well this and that. That's not how life works, dude. That's not how reality works. California's participation would only serve to legitimize the false and already debunked claim of massive voter fraud made by Trump. Vice President Mike Pence and Chris Kobach, Vice Chairman of Trump's Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity, Padilla continued. Actually, no. It would vindicate him. Just on Detroit alone, he was vindicated. Considering they barely got through, or I should say barely got into, would be more accurate, the vote count. And they already had way more votes. Then they had registered voters, and they still had a fucking shit ton of ballots to count. So Padilla's a lying sack of shit, and he knows it. The President's Commission is a waste of taxpayer money and a distraction from the real threats to the integrity of our elections today. Aging voting systems and documented Russian interference in our elections. Okay. Aging voting systems. What he's talking about here is things like paper ballots. Which to me, paper ballots, you dumb fuck, would completely stop the ability of Russia to interfere, quote unquote, in our elections. Holy fucking shit. Paper ballots. People fill them out, they get counted. Russia can't hack that, can they? They might be able to go and fuck, I am American, I come here to vote. You give me ballot, I vote. I love America, That would stick out like a sore fucking thumb. Okay, they might have some of those fucking people who grew up in those towns they created to train spies and shit, but yeah. I mean, come on now. You fucking idiot. Sam. Padilla, you're both fucking morons. Trying to say that aging voting systems, as in paper ballots, as in non-computerized voting machines, are a fucking issue on voter... That is... Holy... How fucking stupid do you two think people are? I mean, seriously. That's fucking sad. And I love how Padilla changes his story here. Like the Democrats have, toting the party line. From Russian hacking to Russian interference, which if you actually go look, now that the Guccifer thing and Roger Stone and the Russian hacking thing and President Trump colluding with Russia, now all of this has been fucking destroyed. And when I say destroyed, we're talking Enola Gay flying over Japan, about to drop a nuclear fucking bomb, destroyed. Seriously. It's now interference. That's what they have left. And what they have for interference is unfavorable coverage of Hillary fucking Clinton. And we're talking about one article which was in Sputnik and a piece done by RT from a few years back, 2 or 3 years back. I'm I'm trying to think right now. But yeah, those are the two things that they have for interference. They're scared that the fucking the probe could completely fucking blow out of the water the corruption of the Democrats beyond the play for pay with Hillary and all the other corrupt shit in the DNC. They're fucking running scared. The DNC and the Democrats are in fucking, like, burn down. I mean, the shit's about, I mean, they're literally on fire and they're about to just, like, you know, it's like gasoline's about to be poured on them. McAuliffe said in a statement, "There's no evidence of a significant voter fraud in Virginia, and the only irregularity in 2016 presidential election centered around Russian tampering." What Russian tampering? They're pushing this fucking narrative. McAuliffe, you're a fucking shitbrick lying little fucker. Dude, go fuck yourself. At best, this commission was set up as a pretext to validate Donald Trump's alternative election facts. And at worst, is a tool to commit large-scale voter suppression, McAuliffe said. No! Alternative facts, you mean the actual facts that counter the fucking shit that, like, HuffPost and people like Sam here have fucking pushed? You fucking sack of shit? Oh my god. Kentucky also refuses to comply with the request, Grimes said in a statement. The president created his election commission based on the false notion that voter fraud is a widespread issue. It is not. Yes, it is. It's been a widespread issue for quite a long time. Oh, God. I can't think of his name. He was basically the Clinton hitman. He's got cancer right now. He was their fixer. He fixed their elections. He fixed their problems by killing people. He was their fixer. He's come out about it, and he's got proof. He's proved his case on what he said with evidence. And he said that the Clintons are known. They've been rigging elections since going back to Arkansas. So don't say that it isn't that it's not an issue. Indeed, despite bipartisan objections and a lack of authority, the president has repeatedly spread the lie that 3 to 5 million illegal votes were cast in the last election. Yes, there were. Look at let's go and have Detroit's fucking actual votes fully counted. Odds are, we're talking, like, with how they had a shit ton left, a lot of votes just in Detroit alone. Kentucky will not aid a commission that at best a waste of taxpayer money and at worst an attempt to legitimize voter suppression efforts across the country. This goes to show you're afraid. Voter suppression, the only voter suppression that would happen is the suppression of illegal votes, the suppression of dead people voting. That's the suppression you're afraid of. You're fucking pussies. You're trying to fucking, oh no, this will suppress votes. Well, that's the only votes it's going to suppress. So you're basically admitting that you know that this is going on and that you don't want it to stop. Because that would be the only votes that would be suppressed. Only. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said his state would not comply. Oh, it does it in a fucking tweet. Oh, well, Trump does it. I'm going to be cool. New York refuses to perpetuate the myth voter fraud played a role in our election. We will not comply with this request. Why? Because there was literally busing. And we're talking, it was recorded and documented really bad. And a guy that ran a borough, it was a borough, I believe, the election, oversaw the elections of a borough. He was the one who fucking ratted them out. There's proof of this. So, of course, he doesn't want this shit to come out. They're all running. It's like the lights have come on and the cockroaches are fucking scattering. Massachusetts Secretary of State William Francis Galvin said his state won't comply with the request because the voter file was not part of the public record, spokesman Brian McNiff said Friday. Doesn't have to be part of the public record. We're talking the United States fucking government. Okay, they have a right to fucking private information. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said Friday he had instructed election officials not to release information beyond what was public record because I have concerns that it is an effort to justify the president's false claims about voter fraud. False claims. If it was false, you'd hand over if it was false, you'd hand over the records and be like, "Ha! Told you, bitch. Fuck you." But instead, oh no, whoa, this will it might back it up. Of course, it'll back it up. You just don't want to admit that. Office of Governor Roy Cooper. Integrity of our elections is critical, and a recent State Board of Elections investigation already found there was no evidence of significant voter fraud in North Carolina. Okay. I bet you if the feds went in, they'd find a bunch of it. I would put money on that. I don't trust you guys. My staff has told the State Board of Elections that we should not participate in providing sensitive information beyond what is public record, as it is unnecessary, and because I have concerns that it is an effort to justify the president's false claims about voter fraud. False claims. It's been proven, Detroit. The leftist fucking press had to admit, even the far left press, had to admit that there was more. I mean, fuck, dude. You're a sleazebag. Critics say the states would jeopardize sensitive personal information on voters if they turn it over, and that the probe is designed to lead more restrictive voter measures. Well, wait a minute. All the information that they would have and would turn over, the federal government already has most of anyways. So what's the issue? Because these are tax-paying, legal American, citizens who are paying their taxes, right? I mean, if they are, that information wouldn't be much different than what they already have, because they'd have their tax information, they'd have their social security numbers, they'd have all the shit that would be on a voter. So they already have it. You're just worried that they're going to find a bunch of fucking irregularities and you guys are all going to be fucked and there's going to be a lot of Democrats going to fucking jail and hopefully it won't be club fed. I would hope that it would be Leavenworth where you get a bucket to shit in. I'd love to see you fucks trying to squat over a galvanized fucking bucket popping a squat trying to take a shit. Well, even if it was designed to lead to more restrictive voter measures, the only thing it would lead to is providing your ID. And providing your ID would stop the illegal problem, the illegals and their voter fraud. It would stop the dead people voter fraud. It would stop the fake people voter fraud. It would stop all of it. Like, because with same-day registration, you can go in and say that, I'm John Smith, and they have to take you at your word. If you have an ID and everything that backs it, they got to take you at your word, like in New Hampshire and some other states around the country. They check your ID. And if it matches, okay, yeah, fine. So I got no problem with that. Like a state, and the reason why I brought up New Hampshire is because they bring an ID. The thing is there are ways to check an ID that like bars have, where you can just check them real quick and see if they're legit with a machine. I think we should go a step further and have those machines at voting locations, so that they can actually validate the ID itself then and there. Kobach, also the Kansas Secretary of State, has a history of exaggerating voter fraud and has pushed a requirement that voters prove citizenship. Yeah? That's a good thing. They haven't exaggerated it. They've been trying to make sure it doesn't happen. They've been trying to make sure that people get caught. I mean, common fucking sense. This is so fucking slanted, Sam. But we already know you're a little leftist. The committee has been slow to assemble, but will meet for the first time on July 19th in Washington. So, Sam here basically just pushed this fucking bullshit narrative. All these Democrats are going, oh, no voter fraud. No, nothing to see here. When there's been documentation of election and voter fraud. They're scared. This is an article that's trying to fucking completely cover it up. Try to say there's nothing to see here. Keep focusing on Russia. When even CNN got caught with Project Veritas saying that they know it's complete bullshit. People on the inside going, yeah, we know it's shit. So you would think that even the HuffPost would wake up and go, yeah, we got to stop pushing this. We're going to completely dive ourselves headfirst into the fucking ground. We're going to faceplant ourselves if we keep this up. But no, they keep pushing it. Russia didn't do shit. When they're basically saying, yeah, we got to update our voting systems from paper ballots to stop Russian interference, wake the fuck up, people. But I digress. This is the Constitutionalist Libertarian. If you like the video, definitely hit the like button. If you also hit subscribe if you want to get more of my content. Thank you all. You all have a good one.